Good afternoon from sunny Goa. Well, partially cloudy Goa, to be honest with you. The weather here over the last 2 days has been crazy from what we're told, and we're expecting rains today and tomorrow as well. Fortunately, it's only a little overcast right now. We're here for the launch of a new motorcycle from TVS. They've managed to keep things away from the automotive media and from the rest of the people covering this event. And we found it really tough to figure out what exactly it is. I think most of us have come here with the expectation of it being the Zeppelin, which was launched or rather teased at the Auto Expo 2018. But ever since then, we've never really heard anything about it until this day. Now, TVS is saying that there's going to be a lot of changes, and this is a new motorcycle altogether in the entire portfolio, something like we've never seen before. So most of us are expecting a cruiser, but there's rumors about some sort of a hybrid scrambler, cruiser, street naked motorcycle. We'll figure out over time, I'm sure. We're at the beautiful, and beautiful is an understatement at this point because this place is just insanely gorgeous and massive as well. We're at the Leela Hotel in Goa, in Cavalossim, and yeah, I've spent around maybe an hour or so trying to figure out every nook and corner of this place, and I've still not been able to cover the entire property. We're going to be heading over to the Glass House is what I think they call it. That's their conference center where the motorcycle launch is going to take place, and that's where they're going to eventually show us what the motorcycle looks like. Alright, just back from the launch event for the TVS Ronin, that's what they're calling it now. This is a 225.9cc motorcycle. Doesn't really make a lot of power, but TVS aren't really targeting power or performance when it comes to this motorcycle. Long story short, what they've tried to do with this motorcycle is make it suitable for different types of terrains and different types of riders who aren't really looking for a lot when it comes to performance. So it's sort of a jack of all trades. There are quite a few bits and pieces of innovation in this motorcycle which they haven't really introduced in some of their previous motorcycles, and it is, to be fair, like nothing they have in their current lineup. How well does it ride? Well, we'll find out more about that in the morning. In fact, very early in the morning. I need to be up by 6:30, so I need to catch some sleep right now. Good morning, it is 6:30 AM here in beautiful overcast Goa. I'm heading out for breakfast, should get done by about 7 o'clock, and then I'm going to head out to ride the motorcycle at 7:30. The weather gods don't seem to be in our favor. It is currently drizzling out here, but who knows, maybe, just maybe, the weather would work in our favor. Fingers crossed. Alright, see you. Right, good morning YouTube. I'm Augie F. This is the TVS Ronin. That is Kartikeya Singhi, and we are heading out for the media ride. There's a whole bunch of auto journalists ahead of me and a few influencers as well. And we're gonna, well, not put this bike through its paces because it's not meant to be ridden fast, but we're going to be riding it through what TVS claims to be a really nice scenic location, through scenic road rather, through the nooks and corners of Goa. In terms of performance, TVS claim that this motorcycle can do a top speed of 120 kilometers an hour. Whether it's safe to test it on a group ride like this, I'm not too sure, but in all probability I don't think we will be reaching those kind of speeds. Team TVS during the briefing in the morning have requested us to try the motorcycle out in different gears, and they've asked us to try it out in higher gears and lower RPMs as well to sort of display the tractability of this engine, which is something they claim it stands out for. Right, I'm going to ride the motorcycle for a while now and give you my first few impressions about what I think about it. once I'm done with about, say, 20 minutes or so of riding, because this is approximately a 45-minute ride. Alright, as you can see, we've now switched over to rain mode using this small button here on the right on the handlebar. And yeah, TVS claims that the ABS intervention in rain mode is a little more prominent than it is in urban mode. We'll see that now in a few seconds. Now, one slide that really stood out for me yesterday was the slide on the exhaust note. I think TVS tested out about 26 or 28 different exhaust notes before identifying the one that they wanted to go with. And apparently they've made quite a few changes to the exhaust to be able to deliver that very same exhaust note that they wanted. And as you can hear, I'm not sure if you can hear from my motorcycle, but I think you'll be able to hear from the motorcycle ahead of me. It has this nice throaty bass kind of exhaust to it. Nothing like what you'd hear on other motorcycles in this category, if this is a category that currently exists, that is. But yeah, it's very soothing to listen to. They also spoke in a lot of detail about the frame and the rake and trail as well of this motorcycle, and the wheelbase as well, sharing that everything was designed in such a way that the motorcycle is both nimble and can also handle a bit of undulations very well. As riders, we all know that there could be external factors that impact our motorcycles, potholes, winds and whatnot, and TVS claimed that this motorcycle will be very minutely impacted by those external factors because of how the frame and suspension has been designed. The suspension, I think that's one aspect of this motorcycle that I really like. In terms of looks, they've given it nice beefy forks up front. The rear is a monoshock, which is nice. I think it offers the right amount of stability and comfort. While we talk about comfort, let's get to the seat. The seat is designed to work well for long distances in an upright position. And one thing which a lot of people don't take into consideration nowadays is the pillion seat. They made it wide, they've made it plush, and an element which a lot of people overlook when they look at the pillion rider's comfort is the placement of the foot pegs. I know how horrible it is on my RC390, and TVS have placed it very low, well not too low, but just about right on the pillion seat for the Ronin. What that means is that your pillion's knees won't be bent too far back, and over a longer ride they would be a lot more comfortable when they get off the motorcycle, and there's no need for that awkward leg stretching that everyone does on tours. Now, coming to the engine on this motorcycle, even though it is a 225.9cc engine, single cylinder, it won't give you the same thrill that a Duke 200 or something in that category would. And that's intentionally done by TVS because they're not really targeting the performance enthusiasts with this. They're targeting more city commuters and people who want to get out and just make unplanned trips. So whether it's highways, mountains, off-roading, city riding, whatever it is, they wanted a motorcycle that can do everything decently with a bit of style added to it. The handlebars are nice and wide, and it gives you this ability to lean the motorcycle around pretty well. The seating comfort also is brilliant, and I think you can last in the seat for quite a few hours, to be honest, because I've not really felt any discomfort creeping in even in the initial stages. The placement of the foot pegs also is really comfortable, almost like you're sitting in a chair. I like the offset placement of this digital display. I think it works well with this motorcycle, gives it this nice neo-retro scrambler look. I wouldn't say cafe racer, but scrambler look. Mirrors also well designed and well placed. I think even with this bright jacket and everything flying around in the rear view mirror, things are very visible and easy to keep track of. Apparently the tires on this have been specially developed for TVS for this motorcycle because they said that they wanted it to be pretty much all-terrain tires, but not something that's too hardcore when you go off-road. So they wanted city comfort, less noise from the wheels, and something that offered a good amount of traction on all surfaces. and so far in the rains today it's done its job. I don't want to jinx it again. I've not had a chance to take it off-road, but I'm guessing it should work okay there too. Again, like I said, if you're an off-road enthusiast, you might not really be looking at this motorcycle as your primary option. You might be looking elsewhere, because that would require a motorcycle that does off-road really well. This does off-road decently and does a lot of other things decently too. Again, the suspension on this seems to be working well even in these conditions, and the tires don't seem to be giving way too easily, at least. Hello. Hello. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Yeah, talking about the tires on this motorcycle, it comes with a 130 section rear and a 110 front, which is normally what you'd see at this engine capacity. Like, a lot of people will tell you it's more fun to ride slow motorcycles fast than fast motorcycles slow, and I think people who buy this motorcycle would enjoy that thrill. One thing I've noticed is that the brakes don't have a lot of bite in them, and I don't know if it's because these brake pads are new and, you know, we're riding pretty much brand new motorcycles at this point, or whether that's how the motorcycle functions, because the front brake, it takes a while to get the motorcycle to a standstill. While I'm in rain mode, the ABS hasn't really kicked in, and that's not such a bad thing. I think in terms of intervention, the motorcycle hasn't, you know, skidded around when I was braking it, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of bite available. There is feel, but there's not a lot of bite. I think that's one thing that TVS could look at improving, or maybe you can just buy an aftermarket set of brake pads and sort that out yourself. But yeah, that seems kind of weird. Yeah, this motorcycle does 80 very easily and effortlessly, and that's in 4th gear. If I switch it to 5th, I think it'll cruise easily at 80 or 90. So even though it won't make a lot of power, I think it still makes enough power to keep you happy and keep up with your sensible friends on group rides. Final thoughts, who is this motorcycle meant for? I think it's easily a motorcycle that beginners wouldn't be scared of, and as they start to then experience and explore different terrains, they'd start to love motorcycling a lot more. And I don't think a new motorcyclist and someone who's looking to get a stylish motorcycle but isn't really looking to ride hardcore, whether it's on the track, off-road, or, you know, highway touring, I don't think it would scare them too much. And I think a motorcycle like this would give you the opportunity to explore different genres of motorcycling without a lot of risk involved, and then also help you decide which type of motorcycle you want to upgrade to very easily. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the TVS Ronin. Thank you again so much for coming back to the channel. I'm saying that because I've not uploaded for quite a while now, but thank you so much for investing your time watching my content. If you liked what you saw today, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, please share feedback in the comments. As always, at least wear your helmets while riding your motorcycles, and make sure you pack your rain gear for Goa in case you're coming here. And ride safe. It's a freaking jungle out there. Goodbye.
Net boss with a great bag. Came up, you can't hate that. Self-made, you can't take that. Yeah, self-made, you can't make that. Some said I need a record deal, I need a co-sign, I need a Dre track. But all the time I had a mean flow, I had a cold grind, and that's a great match. Payback, codes and I make racks. And my pockets gon' stay fat, cause I murk beats and I slap.